It's Moppy time.
Hello to all you ghost beaters. Recently, as I'm sure you're aware, the Evil Dead video game has come out. I think it's pretty goddamn sick. I'm really enjoying it. And one of the features of the game that is particularly cool is the finishers. Every weapon in the game has 3 special finisher animations you can do to kill a deadite. The chainsaw actually has 5, but you know, that's neither here nor there. And I thought it would be fun to rank the weapons purely based on how cool these animations are, not based on their stats or anything like that. And there is one important thing I should mention, because it was a big part of how I rated the weapons, and that is, as every Evil Dead fan knows, there is only one way to kill a deadite. You have to dismember them, you have to decapitate and dismember them. The game seems to take this just as decapitation, which is fine. That normally is good, except for Linda, I guess. But, you know, that again, that's neither here nor there. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the series. I'm not here to dig into that. We're going to say a decapitation is required to kill a deadite. And not all of these weapons do that, which I find really strange and annoying. 90% of the finishers will decapitate or destroy the head in some way. So clearly the developers knew that that was like a thing. They just didn't do it for a few animations, and I will give them negative points if that happens. But before we get straight into it, this could be a bit of a longer video, so I should probably go get myself some water. Number 14. The chainsaw. This is like the iconic Evil Dead weapon, right? I mean, it's what Ash has for a hand, for God's sake, you know. It's kind of a big deal. If they messed up the chainsaw, that would be really sad. And unfortunately, I feel like they kind of did. The animations, a lot of them seem just... they're so tame compared to what I want. Like... the one where he like pushes them to the ground just in their chest, and it's like, that's it? You just chainsaw them in the chest? There's multiple where he does that. There's one where he goes down onto the ground with them, and there's another one where he just chainsaws them in the chest and then just kind of like tosses them aside. Like it, you know, it didn't really matter, who cares? He like slices one of their throats as if he's holding like a knife as well. And it's like, that is not how you decapitate someone with a chainsaw. You don't grab them with your left arm and then just like slowly slash their throat. That's really, it seems nonsensical to me. I would say the best one of the chainsaw animation, the only one that I particularly like, is when he chainsaws the guy in like the small of his back, and then the dude like kind of whoa, just staggers round, and then he gets chainsawed in the stomach as well. And then he just drops down dead, you know. That's kind of funny. And then I guess they tried to be cool with the one where you chainsaw them in the chest and just kind of walk away as you do it, as if it's like, oh, you're so irrelevant, I don't even care, you know. It's like, oh, the day I chainsawed you in the chest was the worst day of your life. To me, it was Tuesday, kind of thing, you know. But I've kind of skirted around the big issue here, in that only one of these 5, that's right, they gave the chainsaw 5 animations instead of 3, and only one of them actually decapitates the deadite. It's ridiculous. Number 13. Okay, the sword. It's a classic melee weapon, quite literally in that it's super old. And it's... I don't know, the animations... they're definitely interesting. They're not like super boring like with the chainsaw. You know, the chainsaw has like a few that are basically the same. My favourite one is the one with the sushi slashes, where he's all like in, out, decapitate. You know, it's very quick motion. That's really cool. Really makes it feel like that sword is razor sharp. And of course it does decapitate, which is important. In fact, I think all the sword ones decapitate. Is that true? It's not. No, it's not, because this one here, he just kind of stabs them in the chest and stuff and then pulls it out. It is cool though, that one is cool from the way he pulls it out without looking. If you can kill someone whilst not looking at them, that really asserts that you are a cooler guy than they are. And then there's this one, where you decapitate them and stick your sword in their chest afterwards, which seems a bit, you know, I'm not really sure that was necessary there, Arthur. And then he does this weird way that he like pulls the sword back out of their decapitated body. It's really strange. It looks particularly dumb if you're fighting the skeleton deadites that come with Evil Ash. So, you know, maybe it's not as dumb as it looks in this clip, but it is always kind of dumb.
Number 12.
Right, now we have the fire axe. This animation here, I like in getting the boot involved. That's like a cool way to add a bit of like, really makes it look like that axe is really stuck in there, that he has to use his leg to help dislodge it. It does have the issue in that, number one, you're not decapitating the deadite, and two, it's pretty basic. You just hit them once with the axe, pull it out, and the lad dies. Like, that's not that cool, is it? You know, I'd like a bit more bang for my buck than just, oh, my collarbone's gone, I'm dead now. This one here is quite a similar animation, but it does fix kind of the problems I talked about, in that you do decapitate, and it still has the cool boot pull out, and it's from behind. And it's not just one motion, you kind of elbow him in the face, and then you slash it in his collarbone, and then you pull it out and somehow the head pops off as well. I mean, that's kind of the big issue. It doesn't make sense. Why is his head popping off? And it's kind of just a better version of the previous animation. So, yeah, not great, although it is better. This is the cool one for the fire axe, I think. Especially when you get the full cinematic cam, the angles are real nice. You think it's another collarbone hit, and then he just elbows the guy so hard his skull explodes. That's pretty badass. I love that animation. If all the fire axe ones were to the same caliber as that, it would be much higher on the list.
Number 11.
Alright, now we have the knife, and I feel like, yeah, it's hard to come up with ideas of what you could do with a knife. Obviously, it's not really an ideal weapon for fighting deadites. I don't think anyone kills a deadite with a knife in the movies, unless you count the hand. But Ash doesn't even kill the hand, so I guess that definitely doesn't count. I do like this animation. He gets 2 little slashes in, and then the way he pulls out of their jaw is very visceral, very like, oh! You can feel the force. It's a good one. I do like it. This one's great. Stabbing, like, you stab them in the head and then you like use your other hand to break their neck and then rip the head off. I love it. That's a great animation. And now our final animation, you just kind of let them die on the knife and then pull it out. It is kind of badass, but it wouldn't kill a deadite because you're not decapitating. And the deadite's just like so feebly fights back. It's like, no, what is that like? What is their left arm doing? They just kind of wave it. Oh, please no. And then you push them off with your other hand. All these animations are fine. I think my issue is they're all so similar, which is probably because of the limitations of the knife. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to give them a pass because of that. They did a great job coming up with knife animations. It's just a shame that they are all so similar. You know in Ash vs Evil Dead when he's killing the guy with the broken bottle and it takes like 1,000,000 stabs in the neck? Maybe we could have had something like that, holding the dude back with your left hand and you're just going to town on their neck with your right. I don't know. Or like stabbing them in the back and then like they're like, oh, my back, and then you yank it out and they like stagger around and then you slash their head off or something. There's a lot you could have done, tackling them to the ground and just like chain stabbing them in the chest before eventually cutting their head off. I mean, I could just spitball ideas all day. Obviously, I have no talent in animation. I'm not trying to begrudge the animators.
Number 10.
Okay, now we've got the Fists of Fury. The Fists, probably quite a rare set of animations for you to see, because how often are you getting finishes with your fists? This one, I like it. I like getting the knee involved, even though it's fists. It really just becomes like your full body. Yeah, I don't know. The right hook just exploding their skull is kind of mad, but it is cool. This one is great, tackling them to the ground. This is the kind of thing I'd love to see with like the knife. And then bam, it takes 3 hits to I guess to crack their skull. The head doesn't explode, which wouldn't kill a deadite, but makes more sense. So I don't know. That depends on which way you swing. I would rather always decapitate, even if it makes the character seem inhumanly strong. But yeah, no, I like it. I like getting the physicality, moving them and yourself to the ground. Bit of wrestling. It's cool. This one's nice. It gets the whole body in, and it has the most realistic out of all the fists for like how their head would explode, crushing them with your boot. I do like it, but apart from that, it is kind of boring. You just kind of kick him and he falls down, and then you just crush his head with your shoe. I don't know. It could have done with some more.
Number 9.
Okay, now we have the nailed bat, which is also the only bat in the game, so they could have just called it a baseball bat, but it does have nails in. And that's a great finisher, straight off the bat. You take out his leg, or you can really feel the pain in his shin with that first blow that takes his leg out from under him. And then, like, the big build-up to that finishing swing, you know. You can really feel the power behind it. He really telegraphs it. And that poor Deadeye is just so stunned that he can't even get up. That's a great finisher. This next one, kind of just a weaker version of the first. It has that same big telegraphed swing that I love, but you've already done the big swing once, you know? I get it, that's a baseball bat swing, but in 66% of your finishes, I don't need to see it. This third one, much better, because it doesn't kill them in the same way. You hit them to the ground, and then again, 3 big swings to crack the skull. I love in cinematic cam, you don't even see it. It makes it seem like it's way more gory than it actually is. It's nice. It's nasty, and that's why it's nice. It's because it's so nasty.
Number 8.
The sledgehammer. Kind of a similar weapon to a baseball bat. They're both big, heavy, two-handed weapons. But like, look at that animation. I feel like something about the way it's animated, it really conveys that it's so heavy. I think it's the way your character, after that first swing, he almost looks like he loses his footing, kind of. Like the momentum, like, really drives him round. I love that the Deadite is like half getting up off the ground. You know, they're trying to push up with their arms, but they're not quite fast enough. Oh, bam! Just, it looks so good. It looks so good. This next animation, kicking them in the balls, is funny. And I always like getting another part of your body, not just the weapon in question. I would have loved it if his head just popped off the top, you know? It's like kind of like a golf tee, a really high up golf tee. I would have loved to see the head pop off a bit more. That's my only criticism of this finisher. And then this one, it's quite similar to the first one, but only really in the fact that you crush their skull when they're on the floor. The setup is a lot different. I like the jab with the front of the sledgehammer.
7.
All right, now we're getting all the ones from that one I super love, I think. Yeah, these were hard to put in order. So we have the machete. And this is a great animation, but it doesn't decapitate, which is an issue. But I do like it. Oh, you like slash them across the neck and then through the back. Oh, like the little twist, and then as he pulls it out, you can really feel the force in that. It's great, and the way the body just flops down dead, it's great. This one, I love it. The sideways through the head, bringing them down to the ground, and then ripping the head off is amazing. It looks so much better with the non-skeleton Deadites. I love the sideways through the head and bringing them down. I know I just said that sentence twice, but it does just look so good. Ugh! And then BAM! You can feel it. You can really feel it in these animations. And this one's great because it takes a couple of swings to decapitate, because it's a machete. It's not like a big old axe. I love that. And the first, like, stabbing him in the gut and then using your knee to, like, rip it out of him, and then bam! Oh, it is good. It is good. One of the best decapitations in the game, because it takes him a couple of swings. Makes it so grisly. I love it.
Number 6.
Alright, now we have the shovel. Has some of the best sounds in the game, definitely. For all the finishes, I love that shovel noise, which does play a big part in my ranking. And okay, this first finisher, it's the noise that makes it. It really is. It's that iconic shovel sound as you knock out their head at the end. I love that you do get the blade stuck in them a little bit as well. You know I love that at this point. This next one, it's very different. They kill the Deadite with part of the shovel you wouldn't expect with the handle bit. So that's cool. It keeps it different. I love pinning their foot to the ground as well. They're really showing that the shovel is both a bladed weapon and a blunt force trauma weapon, which is something I have got questions about, because there's perks in the game that boost your damage for sharp or blunt weapons, and I have no freaking clue what they think the shovel counts as, because as far as I'm concerned it's both. And this final finisher, probably the best one, definitely the best one. The sounds are so satisfying, and you get to hear them a lot, and the way he like levers their head off is it's funny and it's cool. So yeah, big praise for the shovel.
Number 4. No, I'm just kidding, number 5.
Now we have the spear. The spear's a funny one. I love that he throws the spear at them. That's like the best part of this, is the opening by throwing it into their head and then bouncing it off their skull and catching it. Then he drives the spear all the way through their body, turns around and decapitates. It's a great finisher. The only issue is the cinematic cam really obscures the throw at the beginning there. You can't, if it was your first time seeing it, you might not have caught what actually happened, but yeah, it is great, that one. Up through the bottom of the chin, down to the ground, and then crushing the skull with your foot. It's amazing. They thought of the issue that, like, you know, a lot of lesser finishers, he would just pull out the spear and that would be the end. But they were like, no, he has to destroy the skull to kill the Deadite. You can't just, like, stab him in the neck. So, love to see it. And I love any one where they bring that Deadite down to the ground before killing him. I don't know why, but that is a feature that I'm realising that I do love of these finishes. This one's great as well. You got like the come over here, fucking like, oh, it's just so good. Yanking him forwards, sweeping his legs out, and then we don't really get to see what happens to the skull. So, you know, it's Schrodinger's Deadite kill, really. He could have finished him off properly, or he might not have. I don't care, because the get over here is just so good. Yanking him forwards, oh, very satisfying. And all these finishes are completely different, which is another great thing to see.
Number 4, for realsies.
The hatchet is one of the few ones. When I was playing with one of my mates, I saw him do one of these finishes for the first time, and I had to like comment on, oh my god, you just did a sick finish. Which I will tell you which one it was when we get to it. But this one at the first is sick. Taking the leg off and then decapitating in midair, it's amazing. It is amazing. The angle that the cinematic cam gives you is perfect as well. It's so good. This one is, it's the worst of the bunch, honestly. This second hatchet finisher. If they were all to this caliber, it wouldn't be this high in the list. I like that he struggles to pull it out of their gut. Great touch. Again, looks so much better with the non-skeleton Deadites, as a lot of these do, but, you know, whatever. And then, yeah, he just kind of lops the head off at the end. That bit's kind of bad. The opening, great. The finishing of the finish, not so great. And now this is the one that I was like, holy heck, that is the coolest finisher I've ever seen. You smack him, the hatchet gets stuck in his face. It has that feature that I love of it being like stuck in them and he has to struggle to pull it out. And this time it's in the guy's face. It's even worse for him. And then you don't even look at the guy, you just decapitate him looking straight on. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a real like execution style, the way you slice his head off. He's just kneeling there. It's incredible.
Number 3.
Okay, now we have the pickaxe. I do love the pickaxe. It's just a funny kind of weapon to me. I love using it. I love doing an old-timey prospector voice. I'm not going to do it in this video, but there's probably recordings of me doing it in some of my fucking videos. So this first finisher, it's just okay. In fact, it's quite bad. So you might be thinking, how is the pickaxe this high up if this first finisher is so bad? It's just it's the collarbone thing again. It's literally that fire axe finisher, but with a pickaxe this time. It's a collarbone from the back. You don't even attempt to destroy their head. That's not a great finisher. It's a bad start for the pickaxe. I'm going to have to do some legwork to justify how it got here. And speaking of legwork, this one, I love that it rips the leg straight off, and then the pickaxe goes right through their jaw. Oh, it's grim, and then you just yank it off as you spin away. This is one of the best finishes in the game. I love that the leg that you rip off just stands there as well. It just balances perfectly. It's amazing. It's amazing. There's not enough finishes that cut legs off, honestly. There's only like 2 in the whole game, so it is amazing. And this one, really showing what the pickaxe can do. It's like, you couldn't do that with any other weapon kind of thing. I love flipping the guy over onto his back, and then, bam, yeah, you just crush the skull with your foot. We've seen that a bunch of times. But he kind of like, you know, he twists his heel in a bit there. He really is going for that full smush. It's like he's got some shit on his shoe that he's trying to rub off on the grass. But yeah, the pickaxe scores so highly because of these last 2 finishes it has. The first one is straight up bad, but these 2 are so good, so kinetic, that they bring it to this spot in the list.
Number 2.
Okay, the meat tenderizer. Not a great weapon, probably, but man, the finishes are so good. This one, I love it. I love like that he like does that little tosses it in the air, and then just pops that head off, dude. It's so good. I love that he hits him in quite a few different places as well. You know, it really feels like he's bringing the guy down. It's like taking out Thanos or something. You know, like bam, the leg, the arm, and then bam, the head goes. So good. That's going to be a nightmare for me to try and sync that up when I'm editing the video. This one's great because it's not really a tenderizer finisher. It's like a leg finisher. He only hits him once with the tenderizer, but I love that like American football going for the field goal, like boop, the head just goes. It's great. It really is. Very different to the other tenderizer finishes as well. And basically all the finishes in the game. It could be like an unarmed finisher if he just punched them instead of slapping them with the tenderizer. But yeah. And this one, probably the most, my favourite tenderizer finisher. You can just feel the anger. You know, he's not laying up. It's like, oh my god. It's like, stop, he's already dead. You're just like, bam, 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 and oh, those final 3 hits, you can really feel the physicality and the momentum and just the anger as you're taking it out on this Deadite. Amazing stuff.
Number 1.
And now, number 1, the creme de la creme. It is a cook's blade, the cleaver. And why is this one so good? All the finishes are completely different. They're not similar at all. And they all have aspects that I love in different ways. So let's break them down one by one, because this is my favourite. This is what kind of inspired me to make the video, is the cleaver. It's just so good. So this first finisher, why is it so good? It has the aspect I love of the weapon getting stuck in them. He throws the cleaver and it gets stuck in the guy's head. And then it has a bit of sound design. Not a lot of them have like unique sound. This one does, because you slap the dude's hand away. I like to call it the high five. That's like my slang term for this finisher. I love that little as he slaps the dude's hand away, and then yeah, yanks the cleaver out, ripping their head off in the process. I believe it's kind of hard to see because of the angle of this clip, but I believe it does. It's a great finisher, yeah. The hand slap is what makes it for me. Next one. It has that, like, taking out their leg first. You know, you cripple his leg, you bring him to his knees, and then you have to use your other hand to help actually wrench that cleaver free, decapitating the dude in the process. Again, getting another body part in, getting your other hand in, really makes it feel like it is properly stuck in their flesh. It makes it a lot more of a grisly finishing move, is it? Oh! It's almost sickening, him like wrenching it free of their neck. Amazing, amazing stuff. And here's our final one. I don't know which cleaver finisher is my favourite cleaver finisher because they're all so good. But this one, again, it has that feature I love of getting the weapon stuck in them. And then it's kind of like the tenderizer, like him kneeing this guy 3 times in the face to get it free. It's like, that thing is really stuck in the guy's skull. Oh my god, and then bam, smashes it with his knee, like with the good Fire Axe one where he smashes it with his elbow. Just incredible stuff. Bam! Oh, It's so good. It's so good. I think another great thing about these cleaver finishes is they don't make your character look super powered like some of the others. You know, it's like your character is struggling to actually kill them in some of these things, to get their weapon out, to decapitate them. It's a bit of a struggle. You can't just do it in one, which I think is a bit more realistic, and it makes it seem cooler than like if you're a complete badass. You know, it's like, damn, oh, it's tough to kill a Deadite, you know. That's cool. Makes them more of a threat. So, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you could, even if you didn't agree with me, understand where I was coming from with some of these points. Part of me super paranoid that I somehow forgot a whole weapon from the list. If that is the case, chew me out in the comments and I'll upload a mini-second part where I talk about it and be very sheepish the whole time or something. I don't know. This is the patented rambly outro at this point now. So yeah, what have you guys been up to? I tell you what, I'm super excited that they're doing like a proper, not sequel, but spiritual successor to Until Dawn. That comes out today on day of recording, not to date the video or anything. But that looks cool. I love Until Dawn. It's in like my top 10 games of all time, potentially. Never even played it though, because it was a PlayStation exclusive. And then like the Dark Anthology series was pretty bad from my measure. So I'm optimistic, I'm excited about this new one, because it's not an anthology thing. And it's not a PlayStation exclusive, so I will be playing it hopefully very soon. I won't make a video out of it. This isn't me saying a video's coming. Because I don't think I could make a video be entertaining. Go watch like Germa playing it if he does. He's a cool guy. He's a good guy, as far as I can tell. I don't know him, obviously. Can you imagine? That would be all I talked about in all my videos. Be like in Diary of a Wimpy Kid when he thinks Rowley's gonna make like a book called like I Used to Be Friends with Greg Heffley. I would write a book called I Know Germa. Yeah, okay, this is sufficiently rambly to fill up my ramble quota. So that's the end of the video. Stay safe.